Right.
You good? Yeah, you're. All right, I'd like to call the Greensboro Planning Commission meeting for July 15th to order. And our first item of business would be the approval of our minutes from June the 10th. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve them as they are.
Second motion.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
And they passed. All right, our first item is the critical area overlay discussion, and I believe we have a speaker.
Is it on? Hopefully you can hear me.
Okay.
Okay, so my name is Charlotte Sheeran. I am the Program Implementation and Education Manager with the Critical Area Commission. And I am here because last year there were changes to our law that were passed by the state legislature related to the required updates to all of the local jurisdictions' critical area programs. So the critical area is a state law, but it is implemented locally, so every municipality and county in the critical area has its own critical area program. Previously, those were required to be updated every 6 years. The changes to the law that went into effect October 1st of last year expanded that to every 10 years. But it also added in some kind of like carrots and sticks in terms of if a jurisdiction does not get their program updated in that 10-year time period. So there are some repercussions that can take effect, although I will say that the commission does not want to have to implement any of those. And so in an effort to try and get all of our jurisdictions' programs updated, we hired a part-time contractual person whose contract actually ended today. But over the past year, he has been working with all of the municipalities in particular because we know that you all are short-staffed, and getting the program updated can be a big lift when you're only one person working on that effort. So what Mike did was he took our model ordinance, which basically is something we created that lays out kind of just the bare minimum standards based on our regulations that should be part of a critical area program. So he took our model and kind of compared it to all of the municipalities' existing ordinance and then did like a red line version showing where changes were needed. And so, Jean, were you able to provide them with a copy of that?
Yeah, they have it. Yep.
So that's what you should have. And so you can see this is it's basically a Word document with track changes. So anywhere that there's strike through, that language would be removed, and anywhere there is underlined, and on my copy it's blue, but it may be in red on yours, but anywhere there's underlining and colored text, that would be added language. So like I said, this is based off our model, so it really doesn't contain anything out of the ordinary or anything different than what is in our state regulations, which is what most of the programs are based off of. There are a couple places where we have provisions that are considered to be opt-in, and so a jurisdiction could adopt those provisions or they could decide not to. The first one is for accessory dwelling units in the resource conservation area. The resource conservation area is our most restrictive designation, so it covers like agriculture uses, wetlands, forests, kind of like big open undeveloped places. And so we have a density restriction of 1 dwelling unit per 20 acres in the resource conservation area. However, we do have provisions that would allow 1 accessory dwelling unit on a property. So it kind of gives a little bit of a flexibility for that density requirement if the dwelling unit is an accessory dwelling unit. Greensboro, so you can see like wherever there's green on that map, that would be your RCA. I don't know how much residential is within that area, like that would be, the town would know that better than anyone, and whether property owners in the RCA would be interested in being able to have an accessory dwelling unit. So that would kind of be something that we would other opt-in provision is related to non-water dependent structures, allowed on piers. So, previously, under the Maryland Department of Environment's regulations, structures placed out on piers that were not considered water dependent, so they didn't have to be on the pier by nature of their, function, were not allowed at all. But, probably about 15 years ago now almost, we worked with MDE to, write in, regulations that did allow certain types of structures under certain situations. So, out to be placed on the pier, out over the water. So, there are kind of two different pathways for that to be allowed. The first is related to commercial uses in the intensely developed area, which is the red. So that's kind of a lot of commercial uses, high density residential, industrial, institutional type uses. So, a lot of times what we see in that situation is a restaurant that wants to put like a dining pavilion or something out on their pier. And so, you could opt into that language to allow that to happen. Again, the town would be most familiar with what, kinds of uses and, businesses are located within that area, and if you think any of them would be interested in doing something like that. So, that would kind of be another, consideration to take, there. The second pathway for non-water dependent structures is related to renewable energy systems. And so typically what we see there are like residential properties who want to put like solar panels along the edge of their pier, to provide some, energy use for their home. It also allows, I'm not super familiar with geothermal systems, but there's some type of like, utility kind of, lines and, boxes, I don't know what you call it, but like the kind of like need of the, geothermal system, like sometimes people want to not have that in their house and that could go out on the pier. And then also, small like residential wind turbines, so, not, the big offshore type ones, but these would be, I think there's a height restriction on it, it's 8 or 10 feet, so they're, not gonna be super big, but they would provide some energy for like a residential home. So those are, the non-water dependent structures on piers, and then the accessory dwelling units in RCA are the two kind of operating provisions within the ordinance. That was a lot, so do you have questions?
So that, yeah, so those are the only, ones we have leeway on.
Yeah, those would be kind of where decisions.
So if I understand it right, that when we make our recommendation to town commissioners, and then they're gonna, did I see that there's a public hearing scheduled for Thursday that's on this? Okay, so then, and then after that, if I understand it right, if we don't, depending upon how we recommend, they still after the public hearing can tweak some things and decide that, is it later after that public hearing that they're actually gonna vote on it? Yeah, okay, alright. So, so now, does anybody have any questions?
I don't do line.
Very good, that's, so.
Yeah, and as far as, I think, you might also ask this, but as far as like the deadline goes, so, like I said, our part-time contractual who was helping us with this effort, his last day was today, but, I'm available, Michael Macon is the planner in our office who, has been coordinating on some of this too, so, if you have questions or if there's public comment that's received that you wanna talk about or, any potential changes to the, ordinance, we can definitely, walk through that and discuss it, so, please reach out if you have any questions, and then, as long as you're kind of like moving forward on things, we're happy. We just kind of don't want, Mike, our part-time contractual put in a lot of work over the last year to kind of get a lot of jurisdictions started on the local approval process. We don't wanna lose that momentum, so, please just reach out if you need anything.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. All right, so, the town commissioners would like, the planning commission, needs to recommend or not recommend, or make any amendments or changes or suggestions or, to this ordinance. So we're open for, motion or discussion, without.
Yeah, I'm okay with it as it is.
Are you gonna make a motion with it?
I'll make a motion that we recommend it as it is, how it needs to be read.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All right. Any discussion? So, on those, options that we have, to make sure everybody understands, so as it was added in is okay with everybody, and that's what, I mean, which is,
Yes.
so those things that she said, they are in there. Okay, all right. So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And so it carries, we recommend, this ordinance to the commissioners for the public hearing. All right, the next thing on our agenda is our permit list. I'm not taking a look at that, and, this is just for our information. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
This is just for our information, so we can just kinda know what's happening. 1, 2, 3, 4 new, since our meeting was June the 10th, yeah, these are all since our last meeting. Any discussion?
No.
All right, I see we have some visitors. Would any of you, I didn't look at the list, does anybody wanna speak, or?
No.
All right, anything else for the planning and zoning this evening? Leftover from last time, I've been told that we have got our zoning map ordered, so as
She tried to order it from Walmart and they responded that it's too blurry, so she's still working on it, so she printed it out.
Oh yeah, this is blurry, there should be a clear copy somewhere.
Yeah, that's what she's working on.
Original digital something, I don't know. Okay, so I'm open for a motion to adjourn,
Motion to adjourn.
second,
I second.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And we are adjourned.